Ryder Hale had always carried his shadows quietly, the way a storm hides behind a calm horizon. On stage, he was unstoppable, the kind of rock star who made stadiums vibrate and fans cry just by lifting his eyes to the crowd. But offstage, he walked like a man who listened for footsteps behind him, like someone who knew the past wasn't finished with him yet. Skylar Monroe sensed it from the very first moment she met him. It wasn't the darkness itself that pulled her in. It was the way he fought it, the way he smiled like it cost him something. That night, she found him on the rooftop of the Avalon Hotel, sitting alone with a half-empty bottle of bourbon and a stack of old photographs he kept flipping through and hiding before she could read anything on them. "Ryder," she said softly, stepping closer. He didn't flinch, but she could tell he had heard her long before she spoke. "You shouldn't be up here," he muttered. "It's cold. So come inside," she said. "Or don't. Just don't sit alone like this." She moved closer, her voice warm, steady. "You look like you're waiting for something bad to happen." He gave her a half-smile, crooked, tired, too honest. "That's because I am." Skylar felt her stomach tighten. Ryder joked about everything: fame, scandals, critics, even heartbreak. But this wasn't a joke. This was a confession he didn't mean to make. "What's going on?" she whispered. He hesitated. The wind lifted the curls around her face, and his eyes softened for a second, before fear slammed the door shut again. "It's nothing you need to worry about." He stood, stuffing the photographs into his jacket, but one slipped out and fluttered to the ground near her feet. Skylar bent to pick it up and froze. The picture showed Ryder about 5 years younger, standing beside a man she didn't recognize. A man wearing a symbol on his jacket she did recognize. Her father used to warn her about it. A black serpent wrapped around a broken star. The mark of the Meridian Syndicate, a criminal organization that existed somewhere between myth and nightmare. The kind of group people whispered about but never actually named. Skylar's fingers trembled slightly. "Ryder, why do you have a picture with someone from the Syndicate?" His jaw tightened, hard enough that she knew the truth scared him more than being found out. "Skylar," he said slowly, "I need you to forget you saw that." But she didn't move, didn't breathe. "Are you in danger?" Ryder swallowed hard. "You shouldn't be asking questions like that. And you shouldn't be facing this alone," she answered. He stepped closer, his voice low, rough, almost pleading. "You don't understand. If you get near this, if they even think you know something, you're done. I won't let you get hurt because of me." But Skylar wasn't the type to run. Not from danger. Not from truth. Not from him. "Ryder, tell me what's happening." The rooftop lights buzzed softly between them. He looked at her with the kind of desperation she had never seen in him. Not on stage, not in private, not even in his worst moments. And finally, he exhaled. "There's something I did years ago," he said. "Something I thought I escaped. But the Syndicate." He glanced around the empty rooftop like shadows were listening. "They don't forget, and they don't forgive." Skylar felt her heartbeat thud painfully against her ribs. "Are they coming for you?" Ryder shook his head. "No." His voice cracked. "They're coming for anyone who gets close to me." And in that moment, Skylar realized something she wasn't ready to admit out loud. She was already too close. Skylar Monroe had never been the kind of woman who scared easily. She had lived through toxic contracts, fake friends, and enough Hollywood manipulation to break a weaker person in half. But that night, walking out of the Avalon Hotel with Ryder's secret clawing inside her chest, fear became something real, something heavy, something breathing on the back of her neck. She didn't tell Ryder she was leaving to get air. If she had, he wouldn't have let her walk out alone. She needed time. She needed space. She needed to understand what the Syndicate wanted with him. The boulevard outside was quiet, the kind of late-night Los Angeles silence that always felt artificial. Skylar wrapped her arms around herself and walked toward the parking structure across the street. But halfway there, she stopped. A black sedan idled at the curb. Tinted windows, engine humming low. No headlights. Skylar's blood ran cold. People in LA drove anything, but that car didn't fit. It felt placed there. Planted. She forced herself to keep walking. Don't run. Don't look back. Don't show fear. Her heels clicked sharply on the concrete ramp leading up to the second floor of the garage. When she reached her car, She pressed the key fob. Quick, anxious. Beep. Lights flashed. She opened the door and froze. A shadow moved behind one of the pillars near the stairwell. Not a sound, not a word, just the silhouette of a man, too still to be harmless. Skylar's throat tightened. "Can I help you?" she called out, trying to sound braver than she felt. The figure didn't answer, didn't move, just watched her. Skylar slid into her car and locked the doors instantly. Her pulse hammered. She started the engine, and the man finally stepped forward into the faint light. He wore a black jacket, a serpent symbol embroidered near the shoulder. Syndicate. Skylar's hands trembled on the steering wheel. The man lifted a hand, not to wave, but to press a single finger to his lips. "Shoo." Then he nodded toward her phone. Skylar stood. He pulled her into his arms instantly. Not gentle, not romantic, but protective, desperate, the kind of hold a man gives to someone he thought he was losing. "You shouldn't have been alone," Ryder muttered into her hair. "I told you, they don't play games." She pulled back just enough to see his face. "Ryder, why me? Why would they follow me?" His jaw clenched. "Because they think you're the only weakness I have left." Her breath caught. "And are you?" she whispered. He looked at her like the truth scared him to death. "Yes," he said. "God help me, yes." Ryder didn't let go of her for a long time. Not until her breathing steadied. Not until the trembling left her hands. Not until he was sure she wasn't going to break right there in the middle of the diner. When he finally pulled back, his eyes were darker than she'd ever seen them, burning with fear, anger, and something much worse. Guilt. "Ryder," she whispered, "you have to tell me the truth now. All of it." He swallowed hard. "This isn't something I wanted you dragged into. But I'm dragged into it. I didn't choose this, but now I'm in it. And I need to know what I'm facing." Ryder glanced around the diner. Only 2 truckers in the back booth, a bored waitress filling sugar packets, and the hum of old neon lights. Still, he lowered his voice. 5 years ago, I wasn't just some singer trying to get out of a bad neighborhood. I was desperate, broke, angry at the world. And the Syndicate, they found me. Skylar felt the words settle heavily between them. "What do they want with you?" He stared down at his hands, flexing them like he was remembering every mistake he'd ever made. They saw potential, not musical talent, anger. They wanted someone who could run errands, deliver things, scare the right people. Someone with nothing to lose. Skylar's chest tightened. "You work for them?" Ryder's jaw clenched. "For 2 months. That's all. 2 months I wish I could erase from my life. But when I tried to get out, when I tried to walk away, things went bad." "How bad?" Skylar whispered. Ryder looked her in the eyes, and she instantly wished he hadn't, because the pain there was so raw it felt like touching an open wound. "They sent me on what was supposed to be a simple job, just a message to someone who owed them money. When I got there, the place was already trashed. The man was gone, and I realized they were setting me up, making me the fall guy, a disposable pawn. Did the police?" "No," he cut her off. "Syndicate doesn't use police. They use fear. They wanted me under their thumb forever. But I ran. I disappeared. I got lucky. My music blew up, and they stopped looking for me." Skylar blinked in disbelief. "They don't just stop, Ryder. Not groups like them." "Yeah," he said, voice cracking. "I know that now." She reached for his hand. "Why come after you again? After all this time?" "They didn't find me." He took a shaky breath. "They found out I'm not alone anymore." Meaning her. Skylar's heartbeat stumbled. "So, because you care about me, they think they can control me," Ryder said. "Or punish me. Or both." Silence settled around them like dust. Then Skylar asked the question she knew would hurt him the most. "Ryder, what do they want you to do?" His eyes flickered just for a second, but it was enough. "Ryder, they want one last job," he said finally, bitterness cutting through every word. "A job I can't do. A job I won't do." "What kind of job?" He shook his head violently. "No. If I tell you, Sky, you're in deeper than you already are." "I'm already in deep," she said quietly. "I already saw them. They already know my face." Ryder pressed his palm to his forehead, breathing like a man drowning. "This is exactly why I never wanted you close to me. This is why I kept pushing you away. Not because I didn't want you, but because I knew someday this would happen." Skylar felt tears sting her eyes, but she blinked them away. Ryder, you don't get to make that choice for me. You don't get to decide who I care about. His expression softened, shattered, really. He reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. You deserve better than the ghosts I'm running from. But I didn't fall for your ghosts, she whispered. I fell for you. For a moment, Ryder forgot to breathe. Then, bang, a loud crack hit the diner window. Skylar flinched. So did the waitress. One of the truckers cursed. Ryder pulled Skylar against him, scanning the glass. A small, perfect chip in the window. The kind a silenced shot might leave from a distance. Or a warning. And then Skylar saw it. A black sedan across the street. Headlights off. Engine humming. Ryder froze when he followed her gaze. They found us, he said. Very quietly. Very sure. Ryder didn't think. Instinct took over. The kind of instinct you only develop when you've spent years looking over your shoulder. Skylar, get down. He whispered fiercely, pulling her below the diner table as the waitress let out a confused shriek behind the counter. The shot hadn't broken the glass. Not a real attack. A warning. A message. Skylar clung to the fabric of Ryder's jacket, her breath shaking against his chest. Ryder, what do they want from us? He looked into her eyes, and for the first time, she saw something beneath the fear, rage. Deep, controlled, lethal rage. They want me scared, he said, and they want you to know they can get to us any time they want. Skylar swallowed hard. We can't stay here. No, he agreed. We leave through the kitchen. Back exit. Less exposed. He grabbed her hand and guided her across the floor. The waitress stared at them with wide eyes, but Ryder simply tossed a wad of cash on the counter. Emergency, he said. Call the cops if anything else happens. But he knew the police wouldn't help. Not with the syndicate. They slipped through the swinging doors into the greasy, fluorescent-lit kitchen. A cook looked up from his grill, confused, but Ryder didn't slow his pace until they pushed through the metal door that led into the narrow alley behind the diner. The night air hit them like cold water. Ryder, Skylar whispered, if they wanted to kill you, they would have already done it. He nodded. That's how I know this isn't about killing. Then what? He looked down the alley, scanning every shadow. This is about leverage. About control. About making me agree to finish what I ran from. Skylar stepped in front of him, forcing him to meet her eyes. What job, Ryder? You have to tell me now. I can't help you if you don't tell me the truth. He hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. They want me to deliver someone. Deliver, she echoed. Deliver who? Ryder's voice dropped to a whisper. A whistleblower. Someone who stole information from them years ago. Someone who could destroy the entire syndicate if they talk. Skylar felt a chill run through her. And they think you can find this person? Ryder nodded. They think I'm the only one he trusts. Back then, we were both trying to get out. I ran. He disappeared. They think I know where he is. And do you? She asked softly. Ryder stared at her. Long. Silent. She knew the answer before he said it. Yes. Skylar grabbed his hands. Then we go to the police. The FBI. Someone. Ryder shook his head immediately. No. You don't get it. The syndicate is everywhere. They're in law enforcement. They're in government. They're in record labels. If I go to the wrong person, we're dead before we finish the sentence. Skylar's stomach dropped. Then what do we do? Ryder took a deep breath. We run. Until I figure out how to get ahead of them. Until I can protect you. Skylar stepped closer, her voice firm, steady, unshakable. You don't protect me alone. We do this together. Ryder's expression softened, cracked, opened. He cupped her face with both hands, brushing his thumb against her cheek. You don't understand what they are, Skylar. They break people like you. They twist everything you love into something they can use. Then let them try, she whispered. I'm not walking away. He kissed her forehead, gentle, desperate, almost apologetic. Then I need to show you something, he said. And once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. Skylar felt her heartbeat stumble. What is it? Ryder looked down the alley, making sure no one was listening. A safe house. The place where I used to meet the whistleblower. If the syndicate is coming for me now, it means he may already be dead. Or running. Or waiting. Skylar's breath caught. And if he's still alive? Ryder's eyes hardened with determination. Then he's the only person who can save us. Before she could speak, A soft buzz came from Skylar's phone. A message. Unknown number. She lifted the screen. 3 words. We see you. Her blood froze. Ryder snatched the phone from her hand, curses ripping out of him as he looked around the alley again. Sky, they're closer than I thought. She grabbed his arm. Ryder, can we get to the safe house in time? He pulled her close. We don't have a choice. Ryder Chase sat alone on the edge of his hotel bed, elbows on his knees, head bowed like he was praying to a god he hadn't spoken to since he was 17. The room around him was dim. The only light came from the glow of Los Angeles outside his window, a neon jungle humming with noise even at 3:17 a.m. But inside the room, there was silence. Heavy, dense, punishing silence. Skylar Hayes had left only 20 minutes earlier, but the air still smelled like her perfume. Sharp, clean, defiant, like she'd marked the room, the night, and Ryder's entire chest just by standing there. She had walked out with her chin high and her voice steady, but he knew her. He knew the tremble she hid behind her breath, the way she swallowed pain before anyone could see it. And he hated that he was the one who put that look in her eyes. A soft knock at the door broke the quiet. He didn't move, didn't look up, didn't breathe. Another knock. Not urgent, not timid, just inevitable. Ryder, a voice called softly. I know you're awake. His shoulders stiffened. He recognized the voice instantly. Skylar's manager and his rival, Mason Reed. Ryder opened the door halfway, just enough to look him dead in the eye. Mason was still in his black suit from the premiere, tie loosened, jaw tight. Where is she? Ryder demanded, voice low and dangerous. Mason didn't flinch. In her suite, crying. Ryder winced like the word cut skin. Mason crossed his arms. You need to leave her alone tonight. Ryder laughed once, short and humorless. You think I'm a problem? She walked out. Because she thinks she's your second choice. Ryder froze. Mason stepped closer. And the world thinks the same. The paparazzi, the tabloids, your fans, her fans, everyone. Ryder bit down hard on the inside of his cheek. I didn't ask that actress to kiss me. I didn't even. It doesn't matter, Mason snapped. The truth doesn't matter anymore. Only the story does. Ryder leaned his shoulder against the doorframe. And what story do you want to sell? Mason exhaled slowly, eyes shifting away for the first time. The one where Skylar doesn't get her heart broken on camera. Something inside Ryder cracked. He hated Mason, but he didn't hate that sentence. Ryder, Mason said more quietly, she loves you. That terrifies her. And tonight, you proved why. Ryder's jaw clenched. He didn't shove Mason. He didn't yell. He didn't break anything, though he wanted to. Instead, he said the one thing he'd avoided for years. I love her too. Mason's expression flickered. Not surprise, not disbelief, just a kind of resignation, like he'd been waiting for Ryder to say that since the day they met. Then fight for her, Mason said. But not tonight. Let her breathe. Tomorrow, you fix this. Publicly. Loudly. No running. No hiding. No excuses. Ryder straightened, something fierce igniting in his chest. She's not losing me, he said. Not again. Mason nodded once and stepped back. Good, because if you mess this up, you'll lose her for good. When Ryder closed the door, he didn't go back to the bed. He didn't sit in silence. He didn't drown in regret. He grabbed his phone. Tomorrow, there would be cameras. Headlines. Millions of eyes watching. And for the first time in his entire chaotic, rebellious career, Ryder Chase wasn't afraid of the world seeing him vulnerable. If he had to bleed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to prove Skylar mattered, then he'd bleed, because loving her wasn't the risk anymore. Losing her was. By sunrise, Los Angeles was already vibrating with chaos. Every gossip outlet, every fan page, every late-night host was screaming the same headline. Ryder Chase caught in scandal. Skylar Hayes leaves premiere in tears. The pictures were everywhere. Frozen, crooked, misleading. The actress's lips pressed to Ryder's cheek. The half-second Skylar walked in, captured like it was a cinematic betrayal. Comment sections had turned into a wildfire. Team Ryder. Team Skylar. Team he never deserved her. Team she should have stayed. And Skylar Hayes, America's sweetheart with a steel spine and wildfire heart, hadn't slept a minute. Her makeup artist knocked at 6. Her publicist at 7. Her mother at 8. But Skylar ignored all of them. She sat curled up on the couch of her suite, hoodie pulled over her head, phone face down like it was a venomous snake. She didn't want to see the stories. She didn't want to see the photos. But most of all, she didn't want to see him. At 10:02 a.m., her manager, Mason, rushed in, out of breath. "You need to turn on the TV," he said. Skylar blinked. "Is it bad?" "No," Mason said, stepping aside. "It's him." Skylar's stomach twisted. She grabbed the remote with trembling fingers and flipped to the entertainment news channel. And there he was, Ryder Chase, live, standing outside his hotel, surrounded by microphones, cameras flashing like lightning, fans screaming his name, paparazzi clawing for a shot. But Ryder wasn't smiling, wasn't posing, wasn't his usual bad boy rock star self. He looked wrecked, raw, wide open. He stepped up to the mic, ran a hand through his messy hair, and spoke into the entire world's open mouth. "I'm not here to talk about rumors." The crowd roared. Reporters shouted. Someone asked if he cheated. Someone else asked if the mysterious actress was his new flame. Ryder lifted his hand, silencing the chaos. "I didn't cheat," he said, "but I did hurt the only woman who actually matters to me." Skylar's heart dropped into her stomach. The reporters leaned forward. Ryder pulled his phone from his pocket, held it like something sacred, looked straight into the cameras. "Skylar Hayes," he said slowly, like her name tasted like truth. "I love you." Skylar's breath hitched. Her hand flew to her mouth. Mason froze. The world exploded. Fans screamed. Camera shutters clicked like gunfire. Reporters nearly climbed over each other. But Ryder didn't blink. "I was stupid. I let someone kiss me for half a second, and it looked bad. Really bad." He swallowed hard. "But my heart has only ever belonged to you." The crowd gasped like it was a movie. Ryder took another step forward, shaking his head. "I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending I don't care. I'm done running from something real because it scares me." He exhaled shakily. "So if she wants me gone, I'll go. But if she gives me one more chance, just one." His voice cracked. "I swear I won't mess it up again." For a long moment, the world stood still. Then a reporter shouted, "Are you saying she's the one?" Ryder didn't even hesitate. "She's always been the one." Skylar's vision blurred as tears filled her eyes. Her heartbeat was so loud it drowned out the TV. "He loves you," Mason whispered. But Skylar wasn't listening. She was already running. Out the door, down the hallway, into the elevator, heart pounding like a drum solo in Ryder's songs. By the time she reached the street, there was a sea of people. Paparazzi, fans, security, reporters, pure madness. But Ryder saw her first. Their eyes locked across the chaos. Everything went quiet. He stepped toward her. She stepped toward him. Flashbulbs burst around them. White, blinding, frantic. But Skylar didn't care. Ryder didn't care. No one else existed. When she reached him, Skylar grabbed his jacket with shaking hands. "You're an idiot," she whispered. Ryder smiled faintly. "I know. You made me cry," she whispered. "I know. And I'm still mad." "You should be." She exhaled, chest trembling. "But I love you too." The crowd screamed. Reporters nearly fainted. Fans cried. Ryder didn't wait another second. He pulled her into his arms and kissed her like it was the final song of his career, the last breath in his lungs, the only promise he'd ever met. Skylar kissed him back like forgiveness and fire wrapped together. Hollywood had never seen anything like it.